Are you in a drift right now? Be honest with yourself. Are you going through the motions, showing up, but not really showing up, doing enough to feel busy, but deep down inside, you know that you're really not moving towards anything? That's the drift. And it has a name. I call it the lazy dog days of summer. But don't let that cute name fool you. The drift is not harmless. The drift is where goals go to die quietly while you tell yourself you'll get serious in September. Studies show 80% of people have already abandoned their goals mid-year. 80%. And I want to be clear, most of them didn't quit dramatically. They didn't throw their hands up and walk away. They just literally drifted. Slowly, comfortably, until the year was gone. And today we're talking about that drift. And we're talking about what happens when you decide right now in Q3 to sprint instead of drift. Because Q3 is not the middle of the year. Q3 is the beginning of the finish line. And everything you do from today moving forward determines where you land in December. Welcome back to the Shelly Panzarella Show. I'm Shelly, your mortgage advisor, real estate wealth strategist, coach, and entrepreneur with over 25 years of watching people either build the life they said they wanted to or drift past the opportunity to have it. This episode is for everyone who started this year with fire and somewhere between January and right now feels like that fire got quiet. I hear it constantly. People aren't time blocking, they can't stay consistent, and the summer energy has them in a slow slide and they don't know how to reverse it. So today I'm going to show you how. We're going to go from drift to sprint, one continuous journey, because that's exactly how it happens. You don't just flip a switch and suddenly become disciplined. You build. You stack 1 minute, 1 day, one activity at a time. You create momentum, one small decision at a time until the sprint becomes natural. The morning routine, making your bed, planning your outputs, doing your weekly wrap sessions, 4 habits, one direction. Let's build. So let me paint a picture for you. We're now here in June. The pace of the year starts to ease up just a little. Kids are out of school. Everyone's graduated, vacations are getting planned, the market feels slower. The urgency that you had locked in during Q1 starts to fade, not all at once, but gradually. You miss one morning routine, it's fine. You needed the rest, give yourself grace. You skip the time blocking. Just this week, things aren't crazy. You stop doing your weekly review. There's not much to review anyway. You push the big goal to the next month, and before you know it, you look up. And it's not only July, it's now August. And you're not behind because something dramatic happened. You're behind because you drifted. That's the lazy dog days of summer. Not a hurricane, a current. Slow, quiet, and completely capable of taking you somewhere you never intended to go. Larry Kendall, author of Ninja Selling, says this: the enemy of mastery is not mediocrity, it's distractions. Summer is a season of distraction dressed up as rest. And there's a difference, a critical difference between intentional rest and unconscious drift. One restores you and the other robs you. And so here's a question I want you to answer honestly before we go any further. What did you say this year that you were going to be? What did you write down in January? What did you tell yourself or tell someone else that 2026 was going to mean for you? Is it income goals, production goals, closing deals, buying property, building something, being someone your family can count on financially, losing the weight, getting started on your exercise routine and your diets, reading that book, whatever it was, that vision, that is still available to you, but only if you stop drifting and start moving. James Clear puts it this way in Atomic Habits: you should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Your results right now don't define you, but your trajectory, the direction you're moving in this moment, that defines everything. And right now, it's time to change that trajectory. This is where the drift ends and the sprint begins. Q3 is not the middle of the year. I need you to stop thinking about it that way. Q3 is the launch pad. It's the sprint to the finish line. Every deal you close, every relationship you build, every habit you lock in between now and September 30th, that is what determines where you stand on December 31st. For some of you, that finish line is a production number. You know the volume you need to hit, and you know that you're not there yet. For some of you, it's a personal goal: the debt payoff, the investment made, the business built, the weight loss, the exercise routine started. For some of you, it's simply the person you committed to becoming this year, and you're not there yet. Whatever your finish line looks like, Q3 is where you start running toward it, not walking, running. But here's what I want you to know about running. You can't sprint from a standing stop if your foundation is broken. So before you talk speed, we talk structure. 4 habits that rebuild your foundation and fuel your sprint all the way to the finish line, the end of the year. Everything starts in the morning. And I mean everything. The people who are drifting right now, I can almost guarantee their mornings are reactive. Phone first, email first, everyone else's needs before their own intention is even set. And by the time they've gotten to what actually matters, the day has already decided what it's going to be. That is not a sprint. That is being carried by the current. Larry Kendall teaches that the first ninja daily habit is gratitude and affirmations. Every single morning, lock in your energy state and focus before anything else gets access to you. High performers across every field protect that first hour. It's a non-negotiable. Here's my sequence. I get up in the morning, even before my feet hit the ground, I'm grateful, and I say my gratitude to my Heavenly Father above. Think about everything that I'm grateful for. And then I head downstairs and I get everything ready for my tea and my prayer and devotion. I start off with faith first. Before my phone, before my calendar, before I think about a single deal. That's what grounds me. Then there's movement. Every morning, non-negotiable, I do this quirky little thing that lasts 4 minutes, and it's really just to get my body moving. It looks and it follows some form of a lymphatic exercise because I know the difference in how I show up when my body's moved, and then I head over to the gym. Some days I do the gym and some days I don't. Then focus. One intention for the day before anything else comes in. So it's faith, movement, focus. Build your version of that sequence. Ask yourself 3 questions. What grounds me before the noise starts? How do I move even 20 minutes, even 5 minutes? What is my one intention today? That's your morning routine. Simple, consistent, and when you own your first hour, you own the rest of your day. And when you own your days, you win that sprint to the finish line. Second habit, make your bed. Did you know that more people who make their bed are 206% more likely to become a millionaire? Now, I know it sounds a little silly, but stay with me because this is not about making your bed. Here's the science. Completing any task first thing in the morning triggers a dopamine release, a neurological win, and that win creates momentum for the next one. James Clear calls it a keystone habit, one small positive action that sets off a chain of reaction of better decisions throughout the day. But the deeper principle here is the one that matters for your sprint is this. Every single morning, you're casting a vote. But the deeper principle here, the one that matters for your sprint is this. Every single morning, you're casting a vote for who you are. James Clear says it directly. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you're in the drift, you are casting votes unconsciously for someone who doesn't follow through, someone who starts things and then lets them slide, someone who had big goals and got comfortable. Making your bed is the first vote that you cast against the drift before anyone else sees it, before the day has demands on you. You prove to yourself in the smallest, quietest way that you are someone who executes. The discipline you practice when no one is watching is exactly what shows up in your production when everyone is. You want to sprint? Start by winning the first 2 minutes of your day, every single day. Here's where most people sabotage their own comeback. They drift all summer. They get fired up, and then they try to do everything at once. Giant to-do lists, massive overhauls, sprint out of the gates at full speed, and then they burn out by Thursday. That's not a sprint. That's a stumble. James Clear is very clear about this. All big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single, tiny decision. And even Ninja Selling teaches it the same way. Success is not built through dramatic bursts of energy or effort. It's built through consistent, daily actions that compound. Small, steady, relentless. So here's the shift I want you to make in how you plan your week. Stop planning activities and start planning outputs. And start small. Do one activity at a time. Work on your business. An output is, say, make 5 meaningful connections today. And if 5 seems daunting, then do 1. An activity would be to be more consistent. An output would be post 1 piece of educational content this week. 1 output completed, then another, then another. That's how you stack and build momentum. Not one giant leap, but in small wins stacked stacked on top of each other until you look up and realize you're moving at a full speed. Every week before it begins, ask yourself this: what are my 3 non-negotiable outputs this week? What is the smallest version I can commit to and actually complete? What does done look like? Start there, win there, stack it. That's your sprint pace, sustainable, intentional, and compounding all the way to December. And here's the last habit. And this is the one that determines whether your sprint actually makes it to the finish line or fades out in October. Your weekly wrap session, weekly review and preview. You preview and you review. Every week, Friday afternoon or Sunday evening or Monday morning for 20 to 30 minutes, this is your course correction. This is how you catch the drift before it creeps back in. This is how you stay in the sprint mode when everything around you is trying to slow you down. 2 parts. It's very simple. The review. Look back. First of all, take out your calendar and look back at the week that you had. What outputs did you complete? Celebrate those outputs. But what did you not? And what were you supposed to? What didn't happen and why? When were you sharp? When did you check out? No judgment, just data. Your patterns will tell you everything. And then the preview is to look forward. Based on what I learned, based on what you've learned, how do you adjust? What are my 3 outputs next week? What gets time blocked right now before anything else gets in? And then create the non-negotiables. You name 1 win. 1 thing you're proud of from the week. That's not soft. That is neuroscience. When you acknowledge a win, you're actually casting another vote for your identity. You're wiring yourself as someone who succeeds, someone who follows through, someone who sprints. Larry Kendall calls it closing the gap, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Your weekly review and preview is how you measure that gap every single week and keep closing it. 30 minutes. In fact, I've gotten it down to 15 every single week from now until December 31st. Block it, do it, and do not negotiate that time. Here's something else I want you to think about, and this is kind of a bonus for the 4 different things that we just spoke about. Right now in this season, the lazy dog days of summer, this is when everybody takes time off. This could actually be your competitive advantage because you're going to sprint. You're going to get yourself up. You're going to get back to work as though this were January, beginning of the year. And you're going to do all of those activities and outputs that you set out to do then, now. While everyone else is on vacation, everyone else is worrying about taking care of their family because they're home from school, while everyone else is enjoying the heat in Las Vegas. You, my friend, are taking this as an opportunity to have a competitive advantage against everyone else, and that finish line is going to come fast for you. While everyone else is just starting to pick up the speed in September, you're going to be on your way, already headed to the finish line. So let's bring it home. You came into this episode in the drift. Maybe you knew it. Maybe you're just starting to feel it. But now you know exactly what it is and exactly what to do about it. The lazy dog days of summer are the drift. Quiet, comfortable, and completely capable of stealing your year if you let it. Q3 is the sprint. It's the launch pad. It's the beginning of the finish line. And everything you build today forward is what December looks like. Here's how you run it. Number 1. Your morning routine, whatever it might be, faith-filled, movement, focus. Own your first hour every single day. Number 2, make your bed. Include that in that first hour. Cast the first vote for who you are before anyone else sees it. And number 3, plan your outputs. Start small, stack wins, let momentum build step by step, compounding. And number 4, the weekly wrap session. Review what you did last week, preview what's ahead of you, and add the things that need to be adjusted. 15-30 minutes every week from now until the end of the year. Larry Kendall said it best: people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. And James Clear reminds us, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Build the system, run the sprint, cross the finish line. The year's not over, not even close, but this moment right now is where the second half gets decided. I'll see you at the finish line. And listen, if all of this resonated with you and you may need some assistance in kind of putting it together even more, or you've started it and you want some help kind of gathering your thoughts around making this a successful Q3 so that you finish strong in 2026, please message me. Happy to help you walk through this, do some strategy planning, and maybe even help you be accountable for this. And if this is something that you know somebody else is going through or struggling with, please make sure that you save this and share this with them. So make sure that you subscribe and click that notification button. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.